good stuff.
Welcome back, everybody, to Goodwill Podcasting with Stone, your movie podcast that today is talking about Tron Ares. Now, after 15 years, the grid has finally returned to the big screens, and maybe not as much of it as people wanted. It's been a very divisive film. We just looked up the box office before we got on. It's going to be an interesting topic of conversation today, a very interesting movie, very divisive, but I'm not talking about it alone, and I'm not talking about it with my co-host. Today I have on a good friend of mine, Fabian, down in Miami, down in the same state as me. This is my guy right here. I texted him last night to jump on the podcast with me, and here he is early afternoon on a Sunday. So appreciate you being here, my friend.
Yeah, always happy to be here with you, man. Everybody just left us for dead, but we'll get through it together.
Dan, Connor, like, I don't want to talk about that. I was like, I think it'll do well, guys. So I'll do it myself. They're like, go right ahead, because we were gonna have. There's a guest we've been wanting to get on from Europe, but the thing with him is it's the time change has been really tough, because when we usually record is like dead set in the evening for him, and we even talked about jumping on this weekend, but he's like, no, that would be midnight for me, and we're just like, it's this whole debacle that we're trying to get through. Speaking of debacle, let's talk about Tron, the franchise, because this is a weird one. I posted a video saying how weird Tron was, because the layout, not layout, but the way that the franchise has come out to us in theaters has been so interesting, because the first one came out in 1982. It wasn't a smash hit. Now, the thing about it was, technically, from a visual effects standpoint, it was like ahead of its time, and that's what it was exalted for. The story, everyone's like, not the best movie, but really cool to look at back in 1982. And then 30 years pass, and they're like, I guess we'll maybe make a sequel. And Tron Legacy, even though lots of people really adore it, didn't do well financially. So now we are 15 years later. We have a gap of 28 years, a gap of 15 years, and we have 3 movies in a franchise. And you made a couple of videos about it. I made a couple of videos about it. Before this weekend, you were preparing for this movie coming out, had you ever watched either of them?
I've only seen a bit of the Tron Legacy prior to like this whole weekend leading up to everything. But once I heard, once we got closer to the release date of Tron Ares, I was like ramping up, just started like kind of researching a lot of things, watching the show, the animated show. But yeah, before that, I never really watched anything related with Tron. I did like play the game a little bit back then, the Xbox one. So I was kind of familiar with it, but I don't have much memory of it because it was a while ago. So
growing up, I used to play like a light cycle game on like one of the first iPhones, but I don't know if the light cycle game originated with Tron, because I don't remember the name Tron being on the light cycle app that I would play. But I don't know if that was like a trademark type of game that they could even do that with. So, but when I first watched Tron Legacy, I'm like, oh, that's like the game that I play, is like what they're doing in the movie.
But it was like the OG Tron, like the style, or like the Legacy.
It kind of looked the same. I mean, it was like one of the first iPhones, so the effects of it weren't that great, but it was the whole like try to get in front of your opponent and like wipe them out kind of a thing. But yeah, I was shocked with the first movie. Not a whole lot of story there, as much as I was hoping for. What did you think about the original Tron, the OG Tron that a lot of people found out existed after? Dude, nobody knew when Legacy came out. They're like, what? There's an old 30 years almost, dude. And it, like I said, it wasn't even a smash hit.
I'm surprised that like people didn't know about it, because usually like when you see like remakes, in a way, like people always say, oh, watch the original, but I guess there was really not much of a fan base for this franchise, like to the point where people really say, oh, I had no clue there was an original Tron. But it was interesting and confusing. I'm gonna be honest. Like, it's a little bit confusing from the beginning, because if you don't know that kind of language, like computer language, obviously, like we don't study that all the time. But as it goes on, I think it makes a lot more sense. It's easier to like break down and understand, especially when they, get into Flynn's whole backstory and everything that happened with Dillinger. So as it goes on, it gets easier to like understand. But I like what they tried to do with it. Well, what they did with it, because like you mentioned, it was way ahead of its time. So impressive.
It is. I totally agree. Until you get to Flynn, you're kind of just like, what's really going on here? Because the entire movie
Yeah.
really revolves around him. Especially, I think the movie opens with one of his Clue
Yeah.
characters, but one of his Clue programs trying to infiltrate the Master Control program. Man, look at me, man. I've been,
Yeah,
I've,
like
but yeah, failure at that, and then oof, I don't know. I know Alan is the other main lead male's name. I don't remember what the female's name is, the woman's name is. But yeah, it's kind of about them and they're working at Income, and then eventually we get back to Kevin Flynn, to Jeff Bridges, which
Yeah.
dude, he looks. I mean, he looks kind of fine in this movie. I gotta say, looking good for the '80s.
way better than whatever he was looking like in Legacy, man. That CGI, the CGI Clue. My God.
Hot take. I think okay. If they didn't, I wish we hadn't see. I wish they kept that under wraps until you see Clue. Like you never see his de-aged face until the very first time that you see Clue, and you only ever see the back of Jeff Bridges' face. That doesn't happen. You obviously see him at the very beginning of the movie, and even when he's like replicating Clue, it's right there. But obviously they were trying to do a very good job de-aging back then. They didn't. But I think if you didn't see Jeff Bridges and all you saw was Clue, I think that discomfort of looking at he's so off-putting, I think it really would work for a villain like in 2025. But then, like I said, you actually have scenes of Jeff Bridges acting as Kevin Flynn and he looks super strange. And then you're just like, okay, well, it's like the one visual effect of this movie that does not hold up.
Nah, literally. Like it's like they went back in time. I don't know why they decided to do that. Apparently, like he even said himself, like he wasn't a fan of the whole CGI thing that they had going on with him as Clue. I don't understand what was the point of. I guess to make him look younger, but still, it's like just let him shave or I don't know. Like,
I mean, he might have looked young. He didn't have any life in him, so I mean, he didn't have any wrinkles, but there was nothing else going on there either. So you got to have some wrinkles. You just can't take it all out of him.
Yeah.
I know you like you're an artist, so I'm wondering if you went into detail with your research looking this up, but do you recall how they did? Do you know how they did the visual effects when it came to the 1982 movie?
Like the
actual, the colors, the popping, and yeah, all that stuff.
Oh
like
yeah,
actually in the grid.
Yeah, it was actually very very confusing because I don't do like computer artistry. Like I do it like hand. Sometimes I do like computer, but I mean not necessarily computer, but like iPad. So it's not even the same. But their whole thing was they had to use black and white and use color behind the black and white and then constantly like do layers behind and behind to make the color pop out from behind. So that's why it made it look like a neon, or it made it like pop out even more. They use different, obviously you're using after that you're using computer effects to like do different keyframes and to obviously fix the layers and make certain things have different colors or different shading. But I don't remember like too much else of the process. It's a lot. It's a lot to study.
I really like how it looks still.
Yeah, it looks really good.
It's just when you get like, I still to this day think it looks good. I think the only part about the original Tron that doesn't look good to our eyes in 2025 is when you have just the computer graphics and you see like these little light bikes just going and you're like, okay,
like it's
I'm
funny
trying to understand. I'm trying to, it's hard not to like laugh at it like nowadays, but it was one movie had to do it, right? Eventually one movie had to take a big gamble and try to incorporate this new thing like visual effects into it. So I think it almost got nominated for production design or something at the Oscars, but there was some
visual effects.
People didn't really know how to go about it just yet, so they didn't nominate it, is what I heard.
Yeah, it sucks because I'm pretty sure they would have got it because even like you mentioned the scenes with the light cycles moving, that was like that's basically just 2D, And what they did was kind of like what you see with animation nowadays with what's the movie we spoke about recently? Bad Guys 2. Like you have the lens where it's like it makes like they go inside of it and it makes it what's the word? Help me out here, Stone.
I don't know, man.
I remember when we spoke about it, like it makes it have like that IMAX effect kind of look.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I can't remember the word for it.
Yeah, so in this movie, well, in the OG Tron, they wanted you to feel like as if you were inside of the 2D, because that whole thing is just 2D, like it's flat. But they use the computer to obviously make it look like as if it's 3D, but it's not.
I got you.
So
Okay.
that, yeah, it was really interesting. Like I like when you hear them talk about it, there's a lot they put into it, a lot of thought they put into this whole thing, and very interesting. Wish it would have got a fan base, but
Well, it's interesting because Steven, maybe it was good that it didn't happen. I don't know, because Steven Lisberger, I think is how you maybe pronounce his last name. He didn't really do much more. He does look like he was a cartoonist, which is maybe how he got into the idea of doing Tron. Like he did a movie called Animal Olympics. It looks like an animated film in 1980, so 2 years before Tron. But then since that, the guy hasn't done anything. So I don't know if he really didn't have a whole lot of passion in movie making. Like we said, the box office wasn't great for the film. So I don't think they were trying to rush to get a sequel out. I've had this idea cooking up in my mind that I've never made a video about, and I don't think that I'm going to make a video about. I think Tron, like when you think about what Tron is, and it's this hybridization of the real world and like the internet or the electronic world, right? Coming hand in hand. Yeah. I think it's one of the most wasted franchises in existence because the internet was established in 1983, 1 year after this movie came out. Then the second movie comes out in 2010. What's happening around that time? Social media. That's what pops in my mind because I remember The Social Network came out in 2010. Obviously, Facebook had already existed by then, but that's when, like 2010 is around that time is when it really started ramping up. So that's something that legacy. Now, it's not necessarily about the internet or social media. It's about computer programming. But I thought that would have been a really interesting thing that they could have incorporated in the idea of the film. And then we have our new movie, which we'll get into, but Tron Ares. Well, what's going on right now when it comes to electronics that's really important? Oh, wait, AI. Oh, they have an AI character. Maybe they'll have something interesting to say. Not really. And I'm like, it's so, I wish the idea of this universe wasn't in the hands of somebody like Disney. Because Disney, I can't really, maybe this is wrong to say this because I can't think of every single film that they've created, but it seems like if it was in the hands of another studio, they could go way deeper than they're willing to do. It seems like to me, all three movies are just with Legacy maybe being the most emotional, but all three movies are just trying to have a fun popcorn time. I mean, that's what we've heard about the third movie since it's come out. Hey, dude, the music, the visuals, don't care about the story that much.
I hate that take because that's not what Tron is about, man. It's like you're not supposed to turn your brain off with Tron. Like it's supposed to educate you on computers and stuff like that. Like you mentioned, the whole thing with the real world and computers nowadays and social media, that would have worked in this movie, in Ares. It would have worked the most because you're working with AI and the real world the most. Like we never even got into the real world until the end of Legacy. And then obviously now. So you can't take, and personally, I feel like Tron and Tron Legacy are not like turn your brain off movies at all. I think there's a lot of heart to those stories. I think there's a lot of, a bit, not a lot, but a bit of social commentary to them when it comes to like people taking things from, what's the word, like oppression. They had like genocide, all these little things like that they add into.
Oh yeah, Tron Legacy for sure too. Yeah,
but they use it in a way as like we're talking about codes and we're talking about you could think of Clue as like viruses. There's a lot of little symbolism you can do with this. But it's like who does it truly appeal to? Like is this appealing to data analysts and computer engineers, or is it going to appeal to Disney kids? And then that's what they try to do with Tron Ares, where they dumb down everything. And I don't know, man.
Yeah, but I'm assuming you like Legacy a lot more than you like the first movie.
Yeah, I liked it a lot
Yeah.
more, especially with the whole father story. Like,
Yeah, that's why it is what you're saying. I wish it would go a lot deeper with Tron Legacy. It does at least give us that emotional arc of a son trying to track down his father. And there's always this one sequence that I love in the film that is them speaking about, I think it's like repairing a bike. Like he's talking to his dad about repairing his old bike, and it's just this good conversation. It's a beautiful atmosphere, but they are the focus of it at this point. Even the entire movie has been about, oh, look at the grid, but now it's like, listen to what they're saying, which is super powerful. And you're really interested at this point in them reconnecting. And I just think you don't get anything like that in Ares. But or so like bad. Tron, anything that was really happening in the original Tron. I was more interested in the story. I was like, what is this? Even though it is hasn't aged the best, I'm like still interested in the grid, even if it is from 1982. So that's what really piqued my interest. But I think with Ares, and I don't know if we'll start reviewing it just yet, but I think what really frustrates me the most, and I think maybe you couldn't have had this with the type of story that they built for that movie, is in both the cases of the original Tron and Tron Legacy, both of them were such a before their time movie in visual effects. That happens for 1982 and 2010. But when it came to Tron Legacy, everyone's like, oh, the visual effects look good. But in my opinion, they could have spent their time. I mean, this is so much money to dump into a franchise that's never made any money. But like, give it the Avatar treatment, as in show us something that is new and fresh that we've never seen before. Because that's what the other two movies were. But it's just like, oh, the grid. I mean, build a new grid. The grid's like, oh, the grid kind of looks like 2010's grid, but it's just red.
Yeah.
Like that's so lazy. Like think of something bigger than that. I guess when Jared Leto is the person who's trying to organize all of this, he's not a director, he's not a filmmaker, he's not a visionary like that. So you can only go so far. I mean, the director that they got for Tron Ares directed The Woman in the Sea, which was the Daisy Ridley,
that the Disney movie, right?
Yeah, swimming movie from 2 years ago. That's the same director. It's just like I never understand how, even when it comes to like Marvel and stuff, how they choose these directors for these projects. It's like, let's just choose I know they need their big break, but to me, it doesn't make sense to choose an indie director with like a drama centered, like family drama story and be like, okay. You're now going to direct, Thor Ragnarok. I'm like, how does that compute?
Taika catching strays.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Taika. It's the first movie I thought of. But like Joseph Kosinski, I saw somebody say this, which is wild if this is true, but I trust their opinion. Joseph Kosinski, who has gone on to make one of the highest grossing movies of all time, which is Top Gun Maverick. Tron Legacy was his debut film.
Wow.
His first film.
Wow.
And he's also made Oblivion, which I think is a pretty solid movie. It's like have you watched that movie? It's like a space movie with Morgan Freeman and Tom Cruise.
Absolutely not.
Okay. Visually it's very stunning as well. And I think that's something that he does really good a job at. Besides Spiderhead. Did you ever watch Spiderhead?
No, I never heard of that. Okay. Either.
It's like a Netflix movie. It's not the best, but he also, I mean, the big one that came out this year was F1.
Yeah.
He did F1. So, but you see like F1, you see Top Gun Maverick, Oblivion. It's a decent movie. You should watch it, but it makes sense why this guy came from Tron Legacy and the stuff that he's done since then. But like, who would have been the director to do Tron Ares? Who would have really cared about it? I don't know. Supposedly this franchise has a big fan base, but I just wish we could have gotten a better director for it, in my opinion.
I don't know. Yeah, because he wrote it too, right? He wrote this film too, I believe.
Oof. Let's see who wrote it. Because that's big too. Because
if he was, then that checks out. It makes sense.
So the writer of the movie was no, it was oh no, I remember Dan talking about this. It's some random producer who has like no writing credits. His name is Jesse Wugato. He's never written a movie ever.
That's from what so I can see. Odd to like.
Let me check to make sure that these aren't short films. Okay, hold on. He wrote a movie back in 2003 called It Runs in the Family, which not a lot of people have seen. And then that's like it. So it's like, how do you choose this guy to write this movie? How do you choose this person to direct this movie? Like, nothing about them screams Tron Ares. And then when you come out with the movie like Ares that doesn't have any depth or substance to the actual context of the film, that everyone's like, oh, just look at the visuals, just look at the music. It makes complete sense why all of that is lacking. But let's get into our review.
For sure, let's go.
We're talking about it. You go first, man. I mean, how was your experience? I mean, you went to a special screening of it, so.
Yeah, so I got to take a very close friend of mine. Nice little event. They had those, those cameras that like spin around. I didn't do it. Yeah, I didn't do it, but yeah, they had those. They had like the little bar set up. We got to get like candy and things. I would show you the thing, but I have it like in the room. I got to get like a popcorn bucket.
Is that one of the ones that was like a game system? I saw those.
Yeah, yeah. If you want, I'll grab it right quick.
I mean, if you want to, you can. I mean, it's fine. It's fine.
All right.
I saw
it's like a game system. And then they give us like a cup. We got like our own disc, hat. Yeah. So everything was nice. They had like a DJ setup. Everything was really cool. Arturo Castro came up. I don't know if you know, that's a guy that played. I already forgot his name. Seth, right? Seth. Okay. Yep. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So Seth, he came. He, shared his thoughts and everything. He made a joke about how he's the star of the movie, not Jared Leto. But yeah, then the movie started and went downhill from there, man. I was not a big fan of the music. The music, it's there. Like what's their band name? Nine Inch Nails.
9 Inch Nails, yeah.
Yeah.
They used to go by Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross. Those were the composers, which they are 9 Inch Nails. Yeah. But this was the first time where they're like, let's actually input our band name now rather than just calls ourselves Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross. Because me and my wife were listening to it. Dude, they did Challenger scores better,
bro. Yes, like that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I expected to feel. Like I expected to get thrown into the grid and like get pumped up in there or something. And it's like it just felt like they were putting so much music in moments that didn't need music. Like you're moving down a hallway and it's like it's like what do I need? What do I need to hear that for? Like you're just wasting it. And they're trying so hard to like get you back into this, give you this energy that's just not there. You're not getting energy from the story. You're not getting any energy from the characters or anything that's going on with them. You're giving us info on backstories as to why certain characters should feel a certain way or why they have a motive, but we never get a chance to connect with any of these new people. So what is there? And then you're dumbing down the dialogue. Dude, when I was watching it, I was just losing my mind internally.
What was everyone saying after they came out the screening? Was everyone pretty mixed on it?
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't like. It was just me and my buddy like talking about it, so I wasn't really like hearing like what anyone else was saying. But mostly there's a lot of influencers, so most of them are just like taking pictures and just
like thanks for the fun time kind of a thing.
Yeah. My buddy,
it was I'm curious because the guy was in the audience. I'm assuming the actor. So when I went to Fantastic Fest, I can't remember if I told you this or not, but Brock told me that he was sitting next to, was it Brock? I think it was Brock. Brock said he was sitting next to like 3C Films. Okay. And when the credits rolled, they like looked at each other. They're like, "Well, that sucked," and like Madeline, the director, were like right behind him. So it's such an interesting thing to be in the room with someone who has contributed to the picture, and you're just like, man, don't think you guys did a really good job.
Yeah, luckily he wasn't there because he was there to do the introduction, and then he went to a Heat game right after because they're within the same area. So he went to go promote it at the Heat game. So luckily he didn't hear my feedback. But I thought he was good. So he gets a pass. I thought he was good. He did what he needed to do. He was like comedic in his moments, but everyone else, Greta Lee, awful. I blame the script. I don't know if I could blame her. I blame mostly the script. Evan Peters, same thing. I'm a really big fan of Evan Peters. Been watching him ever since American Horror Story Murder House, the first season. I've always thought he was a great actor. He's doing the worst performance in this movie, in my opinion. I think
my hot take is I don't think, even though everyone hates him, I don't think Jared Leto's terrible in this movie. He's not the worst performance in this movie.
He's passable.
No, I'm like, okay, that's fine. I mean, he's supposed to play an AI program that is becoming more and more human. Does he become more human in the movie or in the real world? I don't know, but I completely agree. I was trying to look at her filmography, Greta Lee. She's been in the Spider-Verse movies, which I didn't even know that. She plays some character in the Spider-Verse movies, but she is also in Problemista, which I can't remember. I have watched that movie, but big one is Past Lives. I watched her in Past Lives, and I'm like, wow, she's a really good actress. This has to be on the director, which I haven't seen. I haven't seen the young woman in the sea, I think is what it's called. I haven't seen that movie, so I don't know how he directed Daisy Ridley. I've heard good things about it, but every time Greta Lee spoke, I thought it was some of the hardest lines I had to listen to. I wasn't connecting with anything when it came to her sister.
Wait,
I'm like, I'm not feeling this. I just any time she spoke in this movie, and she, out of all the characters, has the biggest emotional journey, is that her sister, who was also co-CEO with her, died of cancer. And for starters, the performance is not good, so I'm not connecting with her. But then the deep parts of her past self that's really supposed to hit home, this emotional journey of hers, is told to us by Ares. He's like, I can see in your text messages here that you're thinking about quitting. Why are you doing that? I'm like, oh, like that car, the scene in the car is just nothing but exposition. And I'm just like, this is not good right now. I'm not having this.
No, I totally agree, man. That's what it feels like. Most of this movie is. It's just a bunch of fun, whoopsie-doo, light cycles, a lot of screaming, grunts, and then it's just like tell you what's on the screen, what's about to happen. I'm about to grab a gun. Like it is. You don't need to tell me all these things. Like, and then the whole story, like you said, you have this big subject matter of cancer, of curing people and the world and doing things within the world with this humongous code, this very important code that you have that can change the world. And all you do for us is show us how you change it in the very last scene. Like, what is happening here, bro? Like, literally.
Yeah, I mean, we can get a little bit of spoilers here because Tron Ares, it is fun to look at, and the music's above average, which is solid, which is a good time of the movies. Can I be completely honest with you? I commented this on a friend of mine's video who did his review. And 100%, I had a good experience. I watched this and I was like, wow, that was fun. It's when I went home and I thought about the movie that I'm like,
you're like, what is?
There really was nothing there besides that. And that's where I was like, it came down. The entire time I was like, Greta Lee is terrible. But besides that, I'm just like, there's nothing here for this movie, not at all.
And I gotta say, because I didn't, even in my review, I didn't, and I don't want to talk about Jared Leto. I feel like he doesn't deserve like for me to, speak about him. But his performance, it is passable because the entire time he is literally just a program. He's doing what the program has to do. It's just very basic stuff, basic little action moments. I think Athena is a character that no one is going to talk about, and she had the best performance in this movie.
I think that's correct as well. Yeah,
I think she had she could have had more time. Yeah, nobody cares about her, but like I think she gives you a little bit of sense of what her drive is, basically, which is kind of like she has to just work for someone. Like, she has a job at hand. She has to take care of that. But you can just tell she has that angry side to her that Jared Leto is barely showing. Like he's just very monotone. It's not really much to him.
Yeah, my review, I said, which my review did actual numbers, which was surprising, which is good. So I can get in. I need that so I can get in the Central Florida Film Critics Association for next year. I need my views to be good on my videos. But anyways, whenever I see it, whenever a review of mine does well, man, I'm always like, that's when I'm the happiest because then I can get that next year. But in my review, I said that it was lifeless. Like watching Ares was lifeless, and that wasn't on like I never said anything because I also don't think I mentioned Jared Leto's name in my review. I didn't want to, but it's not the fact that he performed a lifeless character poorly. It's the fact that that is the main character of this story. So you're not really interested in it. Like it's such a surface level kind of plot to be like, oh, it's a computer program who discovers through his programming the wonders of the earth and love and healing and all this stuff. And it's just like I've seen that many, many times before.
No, yeah, I agree. I truly don't know what's like you have an AI, there's a lot of subject matter to tell when it comes to AI. But you're humanizing him barely. You're barely even humanizing him, because when you are humanizing him, like you mentioned, you're just dumping little things here and there about him, like talking about everyone else, or like he notices little gestures and notices how people have empathy and all these things. Like he's basically a computer. He's learning how to work like an AI would. That's what AI is just taking things from others and becoming itself. But then it's like, why why wait way until the end? Even if you want to truly fully humanize him in the real world, why wait until the last moment to just give him a goodbye send off? And you're not. Ares is still the main character, whether we have Greta Lee or Dillinger, whether we have all these other people. It's like he's still the main guy. So it's like, why not finish his story properly?
Yeah,
At least at that point, like.
I wanted to ask you, because the big thing, because luckily I watched Legacy when it came out, so I was a pretty good fan of the sequel. And when I went back and rewatched it, I really enjoyed it. Now there are I do think it's a basic story and it could have gone deeper. And then also there are a lot of moments of exposition, which I don't necessarily love, but maybe you have to have those moments in the story when it's 28 years later. Do you think, and I said this in my review, do you think, in your opinion, the director lied when he gave an interview and he's like, yeah, Sam and Cora are in this movie? Because I think it was, when somebody says that, what would you picture in your mind when the director says that?
I think because you were the one that pointed this out to me, I think he deserves to have this movie flop for doing that. Because if you're going to say that two of your main leads that everyone truly loved and wanted to see what happened with them in the real world, because Cora was able to come into the real world after the events of Legacy, it's like, that we fuck with them heavy, we care about them heavy. So it's like, why do that to actual, because I'm not even a deep fan of Tron, so it's like, why do that to the actual fans?
It's a picture, and just leave a picture. It's a picture,
bro. That is, he deserves for this movie to flop, bro, for doing that.
Well, I mean, I guess one good thing you can look at is he said that like 3 days before the movie came out, but still don't say that at all, because it's not true in my opinion. And I saw somebody say they used the exact same picture, like even at the beginning when they were talking about how Sam Flynn wasn't the CEO of Encom anymore, and like somebody else's, like Greta Lee had come in and replaced him, all this stuff. I guess they kept on showing the same picture of Sam and Cora. It was the exact same one over and over again.
Yeah, man, it's like, dude, like if you can't bring them, at least ask them, like, hey, can you do this? Can we use you for, I don't know, some type of little scene? Do something. Like, I don't. Did he explain why he didn't come back, or like did they even ask him?
I think that, I don't know. That's something that I should know. I've seen people say that they didn't want to be in the movie, which would be kind of crazy. Which I don't know the actor's name off the top of my head. Here, I'll look it up real quick. But the actor who played, because Olivia Wilde still is getting like okay work.
Yeah, Olivia Wilde. Yeah,
I know that she tried directing with "Don't Worry, Darling," and it didn't work out too well for her.
Wasn't she in maybe I'm thinking of a different person. Wasn't she in yeah, she was in Don't Worry Darling, no? Like a character.
Yeah, she was in Don't Worry, Darling, but she also directed it as well. That's when the whole thing happened.
Oh, that backstage stuff.
Harry Styles, yeah, she was dating Harry Styles. Big ordeal. But I don't think she has anything in the works when it comes to Spider-Woman. That's not going to happen. Yeah, maybe she's doing an Evangeline movie. I don't know what that is, based off a comic book character. Sure, whatever.
Oh God.
Anyways, but she's still getting some work. But Garrett Hedlund, I'm trying to see what he's been in some stuff, but the guy who played Sam, but not really anything of note, I would say. It's been a while since he has really been on the big screen that we can remember. So it is interesting that if they offered him to be in this movie, he was just like, no. He was one of the guys in Trimble Frontier. Did you ever watch Trimble Frontier? That was like a Netflix movie, like a military Netflix movie. I've never seen it, but
Oh God, I hate Netflix military movies. They're ridiculous.
yeah, there's so they're not like super booked. So if they did say no, I would be very surprised about that. Maybe they read the scripts and they're just like, yo, this is not a continuation. Like, because I know the actor who played Adam, Alan, which is Tron, who Tron is not in this movie. Oh my God, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. But it's so, like I said this in my Tron is weird video. It's so weird that the franchise is named after a character that's just no longer in the movies anymore.
Yeah.
He wasn't the main character. That's what everyone says. He's like, well, Tron wasn't even the main character. I understand that. But I think a lot of people associate the grid with probably being called Tron. And also,
Tron is technically.
Yeah, because not in the first movie, but in the second movie, well, it's not technically. Well, in the second movie, he has made a video game called Tron.
Yeah.
But then it's still the grid. It's something else.
But wait, no. No, because he became Tron in Legacy.
Tron is still in Legacy. Sam doesn't become Tron. No.
So who does he? Because I know, like, when you put on, according to them, like, you put on the disc and then it's like you become. Doesn't he have a point where, like, he did put on the disc?
No, he has a disc, but Tron is a character. Tron is in Legacy,
like a defensive character, basically.
Yeah,
like
he's a security. He's a computer security program, basically.
Yeah.
So essentially, Ares is Tron for Dillinger's grid in this movie.
Yeah,
he is the new Tron. They have the exact same programming.
But didn't they go against like? But didn't they go against like a bunch of Trons when they were when he was escaping? Remember that scene when they were going upwards when he was running like on the walls?
And so it's not necessarily Tron is one program. So they went against a bunch of different programs, and one of those programs was Tron. The last we ever heard, the last we ever saw in the franchise of Tron was like kind of brainwashed by Clue in Legacy.
Yeah.
And he's flying up and he's like, no, I need to protect the grid or something like that. He crashes into Clue. Clue still gets to
Rinsler at that time, no?
Yeah. He's called something else. And he falls into like the water of the grid, and he turns into like blue for just a second. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, Tron is still alive. So it's kind of like a tease to that. Yeah. But then when you get to this movie and Tron's not even in it, like that's such a strange thing, because to me it would feel so weird and forced if they're never going to come out with a fourth movie now. But in a fourth movie, if Tron was randomly in it, I'm like, you should keep him in it, even if he's not the main character, in my opinion. But like I said, you can kind of look at Jared Leto and be like, okay, he's Tron now, I guess, because he had the same programming, just in a different grid.
I wouldn't even view him as Tron, because technically Tron is supposed to do good things.
Well, now he is.
Right?
Now he's going to do good.
Now. But technically that's what he was supposed to be, like a good thing, like a defense mechanism. And then it's like Ares, he's in there to steal, basically. Yep. So Tron, you would say Tron is technically in there if we say Flynn, that version of Flynn.
Tron, okay, no. Tron is, that's Clue.
Oh,
Clue
yeah,
is
true.
the version of Flynn.
Yeah, true. That's Clue.
Tron is the same dude from the very first movie.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
it's confusing.
Yeah. Yeah. So technically, there is no. I mean, there is, if you think of just those like defensive bots that they beat up, but there's not really any Tron.
No, Tron is like the head of the security programming of the grid. So, like I said, that's essentially what Dillinger calls Jared Leto at the very beginning of this movie when he calls Ares, and that's immediately I was like, oh, he is Tron, but for this grid. But then when you get over, essentially the only time in this movie when you would have actually seen Tron is when we went to the second grid, and he randomly Flynn's there, and he's like, "How are you here?" He's like, "I don't know, dude, but I'm here, so let's talk." I'm like, okay, but that's the only part where we would have seen Tron.
I was like, man, that's just a bunch of baloney, bro.
Yeah, it's and supposedly I saw somewhere like a story that said Jeff Bridges wasn't supposed to tell anybody that he was in this movie, and that was supposed to be a major surprise. But then Jeff Bridges randomly is like, "Yeah, I'm in Tron Ares." So it was like, okay, I guess we'll just put him in the marketing. Which, can you imagine if they didn't put him in the marketing? Because I don't know how much people care, but he is like the one actor who's been in all three movies now. So imagine if they didn't even have him in the marketing, how lower this box office would have been.
Yeah, it's true. Like, there's a lot of people who were like asking, "Oh, is Tron in the movie?" Like, I remember a guy, he commented on my video. He was like, "Oh, is Tron in this?" And I'm just like, I put yes because I'm just like technically thinking of just Flynn, so I'm just like yes, but really, like, I know it's no because
yeah,
so
Tron's a different guy. Kevin Flynn. Yep, Kevin Flynn and Clue are the same, but Tron is Alan. Which Alan's not in this movie, and it's a story that came out that I reported on, but it was an old story where the actor Bruce Boxleitner,
you know what's crazy?
He said that he was kind of fed up with the way they had treated Tron, and he's like, I'm not going to be in this movie, like the third movie. He's like, I'm done with Disney. But I guess he has come out after that saying, no, go and see it. I take back what I said. But the dude who played Tron was frustrated.
Bro, of course, like. Damn, imagine having to wait like so long, and I feel like they could have done so much after Legacy. But did Legacy flop? I don't remember.
Legacy didn't necessarily flop. It never made a profit though.
Oh yeah, so, yeah.
Like I think Legacy was a big budget. It was like 150, 180, and it only made around 400 million, which isn't huge. So what really stopped Legacy from having a sequel, from having Ares, Tron 3. Also, there was another movie called Tron, I think Suspension, which would have been an interesting title that they were kind of working on. What stopped any of that from coming out is Disney bought Star Wars. Disney and Marvel was doing very well. So Disney was like, this is what we really want to put our money towards. And they just didn't really care about Tron anymore. That's what stopped Tron 3 from really happening. Now, if it did even better financially, I think they would have done it, but it was just like barely made a profit, kind of didn't make a profit. So, and then they came out with Force Awakens, and I think the Force Awakens made like 1.6 billion. So it was the right call.
Yeah. So Tron was cooked at that point.
But, it's really funny if you think about it, though. Circling back around, now that Star Wars isn't doing well,
it's gone.
All of a sudden we're getting a Tron movie.
Yeah, it's true. It's crazy, like how things like work out and balance out. Going back to like the whole, I want to kind of go back to the whole thing with Legacy. I don't know if this is something you thought of, but you know how in the beginning when they show Flynn, like the dad and his son, I thought at first that was Clue, and then Clue went into the grid, but that was just them like de-aging his character at the beginning.
Yeah, that is a little confusing. I get that. Yeah.
I was like, because as the movie went on, I was like, wait, what? I had to like literally research that. I'm like, was he at the beginning? And it explained like, no, he was like, that was actually him, which that's what I'm saying. Like at that point, like why do that whole CGI thing?
Like I said, I wish even like when I was rewatching it, I could remember at the beginning whether or not they showed that CGI face at the very beginning. So as I'm watching it on the screen, I'm like, please just show the back of his head. Don't show it. Don't do it. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, DH Jeff Bridges. I'm like, oh, it don't look very good.
That shit was terrible, bro.
Like I said, it would have been perfect if they never showed Jeff Bridges and only showed Clue with the DH face. It would have like been a really creepy villain. But no surprise. I'm not surprised at all that it confused you. Tron is confusing. It's a confusing franchise.
Yeah, I gotta admit it is, man. Especially now, like
I'll say Uprising takes place in between Tron and Tron Legacy, right?
Yeah, so it's Tron, then Evolution, like the video game, and
Mm.
then Uprising, which adds so much detail into like what happens with like Korra and everything with Tron and introducing the Rinsler, and you also like they also speak about in there was like a comic where they speak about Flynn's mom like
Mm.
more, like they get more in depth into his mom, which is something that I don't know why they never did. Like they just threw that at us at the beginning of Legacy, and then never really spoke about it.
That is kind of funny that he just doesn't have a mom. It's like it's something that it's unusual to see that in movies where the character just doesn't have a mom, and it's not like some tragic thing. It's just like just a dad.
Right? Like
But yeah, Uprising was about. I know the main character is Beck, and basically
Beck,
Tron
yeah.
was training Beck to essentially be another Tron and like help
Yeah.
a fight against Clue and
Yeah, to
everything that he
stop
had
like a
formed.
whole genocide that they had going on. And you think like with the way it ends, like you would think that he's gonna have a chance to come out on top, but obviously we go into Tron Legacy, he got his ass whooped. He must have lost because of how Clue is, still working and stuff. So
I saw somebody making fun of this today, but one of my favorite scenes of Legacy is when Clue is like yelling towards Kevin Flynn. He's like, "Am I still supposed to make the perfect system?" And he goes, "Yeah." It's a very strange, like not like a little bit sarcastic response from Jeff Bridges. She's just like, "Yeah." And then I think he just starts like attacking Jeff Bridges and or he starts attacking Kevin Flynn and Tron, which is super funny.
Bruh. Yeah, they have
Um,
hilarious moments.
but I thought the action in this movie was okay. I thought I liked it. I really did like the action. Like I said, I enjoyed the
Hmm.
experience. I thought the light bikes in the city was very interesting. Now, I forgot about this until this very moment. Do you think about carnage when you see like gigantic cities just getting absolutely wrecked in movies? Like I was watching,
Like
I can't
Spider-Man
remember what.
Carnage.
Like no, Spider-Man carnage as in death.
Like,
Like a lot of people dying because I'm seeing this
oh, I get,
gigantic
okay,
like
okay.
thing moving
Oh
through the
yeah, when it
street.
was coming.
It's just wrecking all these buildings and like these cars are like flipping over. I'm like, are people dying?
I'm saying, yes, like where's the reaction? Like they're going through the streets in the light cycles, and like well, if you get stuck in the middle of the line, like you're gonna die. It's gonna cut through you. But
That's
if
what
you
I
run
thought too.
into it, yeah, but if you run into it, then you're just gonna bounce off. So I expected to see a lot more of that. They have like a moment where they show like cars flipping over, but I expected the city to like, go crazy. A lot of people running around. Like you barely see any civilians. Like
I guess that's
the
budget restrictions or something. Yeah, it would have felt a lot more dangerous if we would have seen that.
Yeah, and then like you mentioned, you see that big ass thing coming from like miles away. I forgot what they call that big that thing that comes from the grid. But yeah, you see that thing coming at them. It's just looking like Godzilla. And there's just so much they could have done. Like it should have felt destructive. The movie should have felt more destructive than what it was. That ending that they do, like the I don't know if we can get into this, like
Oh
the
yeah, we
credit
can get into
scene.
it.
The credit scene, like that should have been in the movie. Like, why are we not doing this whole thing with Sark now? Like, why wait?
Yeah, I mean, his. A lot of people said this. Like the two of the three main characters of this movie, which are Julian Dillinger and Eve Kim, played by Greta Lee. A lot of people are like, how am I supposed to connect with any of these characters? All three of them, because one's an AI program, and then two of them are like CEOs. One of them is
Yeah.
just like, I want to be the best in
Oh
my
God,
field, and I'm going to be
hated
evil
him.
about it. That's such a like I can come up with that idea, and I'm not a smart person. And then Eve Kim is just like, my sister's sick and died. It's just like, give us something more human. Like the humans in this movie feel just
Like
as
the AI.
digital as the AI. Yeah. Like, what are we doing here? And I'm glad you brought up the ending though, because I wanted to say there's two characters in this movie that feel so strange. It's Hassan, who is played by AJ Singe, I think is how you pronounce his name. I think he's like mostly a comedian. But then it's Eve Kim's like two people who are like, where are you? Like, you need to get here now. The guy who's like giving the presentation,
Yeah,
and then he's there with this other girl. They feel they don't need to be in this movie.
They don't.
They're very underutilized.
They're just like it's like one of those wrong time, wrong moments. I don't know how you say the phrase,
but you saw everything with Cameron Monaghan too, right?
When he died, like in the grid.
Well, a lot of people are upset about it because there's this cool little video like floating around how Cameron Monaghan was at the red carpet of Tron Legacy. And he's obviously younger then. He's like probably 12, 13. He has a disc and he's like super pumped about it. And you could tell how much this up and coming actor really loves this franchise. And it's not a surprise at all that you see him as part of this cast. And I can only imagine fans of his like being super pumped for him. And I'm sure, I don't follow his social media, but I'm sure he's posted about it. But then you see him in the movie. And a lot of people have said this, and with how much screen time he gets, I completely agree. He randomly pops up in the movie. And I think people like his helmet becomes undigitalized, and you see his face when they're trying to get into the other grid. And he's in the movie, like his face for 10 to 12 seconds. And it feels so strange that that's included, but it makes sense if other scenes with him have been cut out, which I think is the case. I think he was supposed to have a way bigger role in this movie, and it's just gone. Poof, gone.
Yeah, it had to, because it's like you show his face just as like show him get fucking annihilated.
What's also too is like, I mean, it's like a rule in like a lot of people pointed out, like Disney Channel movies. Like if you see an actor, like even in like Disney Channel shows, if you see somebody, right, and they're like, do I go this way? And the actor's just like that, like they point and they don't talk. It's like, oh, they're not talking because if they talked, you would have to pay them more, right? So seeing Cameron like actually have his helmet come off for 12 seconds seems so wasteful. I'm like, why would you hire a pretty recognizable actor? This guy's literally the face of like Star Wars games right now with Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. Like he is the lead character of those games, which are huge games. He has a huge fan base now. And that's Disney, right? For Star Wars. And then you put him in this movie, but only for 10 to 12 seconds of screen times. It just feels foolish unless there was deleted scenes. And I can imagine that there's a lot of deleted scenes with this movie, maybe. Because originally this was like 70% a script that was already done because they were going to do Tron 3. And that's why Jared Leto is even in this movie. It's because originally in Tron 3, Jared Leto was supposed to be the villain.
Oh, okay.
And I think that he just really stuck with this franchise and couldn't get over the fact that he was almost going to be in a Tron movie. And that's why, fast forward 10 years later, because I think they were about to film this in 2015 is when they were trying to get the gears going for another movie. Fast forward 10 years later, and now he's the hero.
Odd. Very, very oddly the hero.
Everything about this franchise, man. I tell you, Tron is weird. It's a very weird franchise.
And then like to end it off as like an AI propaganda just makes just like, because I'm gonna be honest, like I hate AI. I hate seeing AI be used, but if you're able to tell the story right, then I would, I'll approve of the movie, not the AI. I'll approve of the movie. I'll, give my opinion. I'll, have a connection with it and things like that. But what was the point of this?
Like, I think it would have been so powerful to see him be like the main character and for it to not work in the human world. Like he can't become human because there's something
that would have been cool
something about being human that AI will just never connect to. They will never become. Yes. And even if his intentions are good, you can like feel a little bit for him, but then also that would have been the better message. It's like, no, like something with Eve Kim and her sister, like there's some type of relationship there, a human connection that Ares will never be able to feel. And that would have been super powerful. Also, one thing I was thinking about, so when he does become, what is the code called?
Which one?
The code that like there's like tracking down, like the code of this movie that they're trying to get, like the secret code to make the programs actually survive in the real world. What they're trying to get a secret code. What is the secret code in Tron Ares? Right, and he gets it from Jeff Bridges, the permanence code.
Oh, okay,
yeah. So when he gets the permanence code and his suit turns to white or whatever, and he's like, "All right, man, I'm gonna take on Athena." Is he human now?
At that point, no, I don't believe
So he's not
he's still
human.
human.
He's just
You become human
wait,
once you're able to escape.
right. So he has the permanence code. His suit is turned white.
Yeah.
He's no longer going back to the grid. So I'm assuming that Ares is now human.
Oh yeah, yeah. He is. He's AI that became human, which is what they were supposed to expand on with Korra.
Well,
Like we were
I guess what
supposed
I was
to.
the reason why I brought it up is because Athena is whipping him around like a rag doll. I'm like, if this guy is human, first of all, he should be hurt. He should maybe die. But then, second of all, he's doing all these like kung fu like acrobatic moves, and I'm like, I guess that's just instilled in him because he was just this all powerful AI, and it doesn't really matter that he's human now because he's still gonna act like he did in the grid. Like that would have been cool to see a little bit of change. Be like, oh, I'm human now. Maybe I can't do what I did before. Maybe I have to outsmart this program. I don't know. I'm just like, you you need to do more than just turn the color of his suit differently. Something different. He still acts like Ares, even though he's white now.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like that's what also frustrates me because you expand on certain things like in this movie, I don't think we've ever in any previous movies, I don't think they ever explained that when you come into the grid as a human, that if you die in there, you die in the real world. This was the
Yeah.
first time that they actually explained that, which like I was happy about it. I was excited about, but then there's not much else that they do. But so it's like, okay, so what if that the code or whatever, like Ares, what if he comes into the real world, excuse me, and he becomes human? What's gonna happen there? Like, is he gonna die? Is he able to continuously live? Is there like a certain code to him that will continue to live in the grid, even though he dies in the real world? Like that's something that should have been expanded on with Korra or at the beginning of this film. But no, they just go straight into these tech bros and taking over the world. It's just it just went completely away from legacy, and they
Yep.
want it to be a sequel, but you can just tell it's not. It's like
Yes.
what's those word? What is the word? It's a like a spin-off, but not a spin-off. Like a
Yeah.
continuation.
This
in a
feels
way.
more like a spinoff. I think that's the perfect word for it.
Yeah.
It takes place within the universe. Like that's
Yeah,
what
there we
spinoffs
go.
are. They take
There
place
we go.
within the
Yeah.
universe, but it doesn't feel like a real continuation of the main story. Like even though Tron and Tron Legacy have almost 30 years like between them, it still is about the Flynn and the Flynn family. And Jeff Bridges, Kevin Flynn is still such a big part of that story. And here he's in the movie, but we're like, is that the same Kevin Flynn? Or it's not really. It's just like a
'Cause it's
random
Clue.
like an echo program. Like, I don't know. I will say one of my friends who's pretty knowledgeable, he like does all these lore breakdowns all the times and all these theories about what's happening. I mean, one of the things I thought about right away when they introduced this fact that, oh, these programs can't survive more than 29 minutes. I'm like, well, what about Korra?
Right?
Cora's just on the bike and she's just like, no. That would have been crazy. But it's the fact that the Korra is like a special type. I think you should call it called not an iOS.
ISO.
But ISO, yeah. So she's a specific type of program that's just not omniscient, but has just
iOS.
yeah. Has just been able to been created out of thin air essentially. So maybe that doesn't necessarily happen for her because she is a different type of program. Also, he pointed out the fact that I think Sam, when he holds the disc up in Legacy, that's not his disc. I think that is Kevin Flynn's disc.
I believe it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you think about it, when it comes to Ares, Kevin Flynn is the one who has the knowledge of the permanence code. So if Sam has his disc, which that's where all of his memories and all of his information are, then essentially when Sam gets out maybe to the real world, the permanence code is on that disc. So maybe he could have helped Korra in a way when he got out of there, because he has the information. Like he's holding the permanence code in his hands when they leave, and he has a program with him. So you can kind of connect the dots that maybe if 27 minutes down the road, if she's like, I'm not feeling too well. He's like, Tony, Mr. Stark, I'm not feeling too well. Sam's like, oh shoot, and like looks through the code and finds the permanence code or something. I don't know, but yeah, that is something very funny that they introduced. Like, oh yeah, programs can't survive, and everyone's like, what about Korra? Which I guess that's how they end this movie, is like, oh, Ares is going to connect with Korra now, which I hate the name Ares, but whatever. Isn't like the god of war? Like, why would you like?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know. He's not really a god of war in my opinion, but whatever.
yeah. Jared Leto definitely not.
No, but it's I don't. Let's make a bet right now. 20 years down the line, we're going to remember this conversation when
Oh Lord.
a movie maybe comes out. I mean, we're not going to get another one.
I don't.
I'm just thinking, like, how long does it take them to Well, I would say reboot, and this kind of feels like a reboot, but this franchise has never been profitable, and they care about profit. So I don't ever think we'll see a day where Disney's just like, you know what, let's just reboot it for the sake of it, because that's what a lot of people are saying about, like, sorry for interrupting you, like Treasure Planet and Atlantis. I know people love those movies, and I know everyone's like, oh, those are the perfect movies to be live action, and I can see that. But the problem is those movies weren't successful. So that is why they're not going to be live action movies. It's because they weren't successful movies. It's all about money, man.
Yeah, that's if we were to get to a point in life where AI is so accepted in Hollywood, then we will get a reboot. Which, because it seems like AI is it's like, you know, they're putting it in Hollywood slowly, and people are just at this point where they're just like, oh well, like every other day I'm seeing marketing for stuff, and it's like, it upsets me because my whole thing is I want to watch movies and TV shows and talk about them, and it's like I have fun talking about them, but then it's like the next day you're gonna see me making a video talking shit about them using AI for marketing. It's like, why is this happening? And then so many people are just like, oh well, like a lot of people you'll see in the comments are like, oh, it's nothing, but it's like, these are artists' jobs that you're taking this from.
It is a slippery slope, man. I mean, that's what everyone was saying like a year and a half ago. I mean, you know, Dan's been really on it, because unfortunately, like, the very first movie that really caused some type of controversy was Late Night with the Devil. Yeah, and that's what basically started it. And I completely agree. I feel like every single movie now, every single like trailer, like it is so heavily normalized within our society, just AI, and it's hard to try to make a video about every single usage of it and not being a huge fan of it, because essentially it's going to be every single movie that's going to use it, and it is a really sad thing. It is taking away jobs. Yeah, and I just wish this movie, I don't think they would address it, because I think I saw there was like AI posters of people like literally at the premiere of this, like the world premiere. I'm like, how ironic is that?
Their whole marketing is AI. Like it's powered by Grok, the AI that they use on X. So like if you go on X and you reply to someone, you could be like, hey Grok, change this photo and do this. Like the AI will do that for you under the person's replies. Like, and they had like a whole robot at the event.
What do you mean their marketing is done? So you're saying that they're sponsored by it, or their marketing has been done by it?
The marketing is I believe it's done by it. So like on the posters, like it'll have the Grok logo on the side of the posters.
Really?
I don't think if you look up, you have to go, I believe, on go on X, and I think go on the Tron page, and then you'll see like powered by Grok, something like that, and then you'll see like AI posters of characters. But I don't think it's on the official, like, you know, the official Disney ones. No, it's not on there.
Yeah, we're not going to be far away from that, though. Like you said, like it was a huge, X and Grok were like a huge sponsor of the world premiere, and it's just like, what it's so crazy bit of irony right there. Like, just no care in the world.
It is so upsetting. And what pisses me off too is that Late Night was supposed to, in my opinion, I still believe this. I fully believe this. I think that was 2023. I think Late Night with the Devil was supposed to be the horror movie that that was a part of the Oscars talk. Kind of like how this year it's like Sinners, or last year was like Nosferatu. I think Late Night was going to be the one. Even if you look at the numbers now, I believe it's like a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes or something. Like that was the horror movie of the year. And that to me, it was the horror movie of that year. But because everyone just spoke out about, oh, this AI, but it's like now we have all these movies, and now all of a sudden no one's saying nothing.
Yeah, it will only become a problem when it affects certain people. It's like politics, right? It's like everyone's okay with AI until it affects their job, and they're like, whoa, let's get AI out of here, kind of a thing. So it's affecting the thing, like substantially. It's affecting the thing that we love the most, which is why we're the most outspoken about it. But like my mom, my sister, my dad, they probably don't care at all. And my mom sends me stuff all the time that she doesn't even know is AI. Like Sora's scary, dude. Like all the Sora video. Go on the App Store right now. Sora is like the number 1 like app that people are getting, and it's basically just a video creator with AI, and it's very, very realistic videos.
Sora.
SORA, I think is what it is. But it is scary stuff, man. Yeah, it's I think it's Sora. Is it paid? Watch me be wrong. I don't think I'm wrong though. Yeah, you can even see it sometimes.
Wait, what was that?
Yeah, Sora by OpenAI is what it's called.
Sora.
But supposedly, I saw somebody say this, and I don't know if they're right or not, but you can't use like licensed material anymore. Like you can't make Mario do something, you can't make SpongeBob do something, which is good. Everyone hates Nintendo because Nintendo will come into your house and they'll put a rifle to your head if you try to use anything when it comes to their products. Like I'm afraid with that Toad back there. Nintendo, if you're watching, I bought that from one of your parks, but they don't mess around when it comes to copyright claims. So I think that maybe they saw their stuff being used for AI and they're like, I'm gonna shut that shit down real quick.
Bro, I hate them. Like they put a whole copyright on this game called Power World. I don't know if you heard about that.
Oh yeah, that's kind of like the Pokemon ripoff.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. So, but their thing was they wanted to put in like a lawsuit on summoning a character. It's like you're not even the first game to summon a character. Like they think just because they're this big thing that they can do. I don't know. I hate when companies get like that. Like it's a little too much.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it's good. It's bad, and I guess maybe it's good. I don't know if they were responsible for making that type of material unavailable on Sora, but if they were, I guess that's one good thing that Nintendo's done.
Yeah, well,
I still haven't got a Switch 2 because I don't think it'll fit underneath where I have my Switch currently right now. It won't like fit because it's bigger. The Switch 2 is bigger than the first Switch, so it won't fit in the same spot. So I haven't gotten one just yet, but I've looked at it many a times. I'm a big.
I don't.
I mean, it's there. It's so funny because when those systems first dropped, it was like sold out. 3 weeks go by. Man, there's 6 of them. There's 6 of those bad boys just chilling in Target, and I'm like,
oh yeah. Every time, like,
I heard the new Donkey Kong game is really good. I'm like,
but don't they like have it also for like the regular Switch, or they're just only for the 2?
No, not the Donkey Kong one. I think it's called Donkey Kong Bonanza. I think is what it's called. It's basically like I think I've been told it's basically like Super Mario Galaxy. I don't know if you ever played Super Mario Galaxy.
I love Galaxy.
So essentially, Donkey Kong Bonanza is the Donkey Kong version of Super Mario Galaxy. Essentially,
how do you even do that?
I don't know.
Why is Donkey Kong even floating everywhere?
I want to find out. But no, I've been on. I mean, I'm sure you've seen me post about it, but I've been playing Ghost of Yote.
Yeah, my wife has been playing that too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she loves it. She killed Tsushima in like, I would say like 2 or 3 weeks. She was playing that shit every night.
Yeah. Yote is so much bigger. I would say I'm 1/5 of the way through the game, and I've had it for like a week.
Yeah, that shit's it's huge. I like what they do, like with the stories. I never played it. Like I said, I just watched her play the whole thing. I even watched her play Red Dead, like the whole walkthrough. Like she did.
She loves open world games.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah. Say Yote's way. I like direct narratives. Like Tsushima was more of like a direct narrative game, but Yote, the more I get into the world, I'm like, okay, it's pretty cool. Like what happened? You just see stuff and you're just like, I want to just ride there and just see what that is. You could just go and do it.
Oh, like doing the side quests and stuff like that.
But anyways, speaking of a side quest, I don't know if this is a side quest, but it's a mission of mine that I have every single podcast. Go ahead and plug yourself, my man. This is my man Fabian. If you liked our conversation, I'm the clip guy now. I don't know if you look at our podcast page, TikTok. I'm the guy who makes the clips now. That's my job for us. So
okay,
I'm gonna
okay.
be hopefully posting a lot of our conversations over the next couple of days. And even though Dan and Connor didn't necessarily love Tron Ares, I'm hoping to get us my Tron Ares videos or my Tron videos have been doing pretty well when it comes to my personal page. So hopefully I can get us thriving on our podcast page. But
For sure. Always wishing for that.
Cinespidey, right? At Cinespidey?
Yeah, at Cinespidey on TikTok, Instagram, Cinespidey Films, Letterbox, Cinespidey as well.
Not on YouTube yet?
Nah, I don't I don't think it's gonna work. YouTube. Unless like it gets to a point where we don't have, any TikTok or anything, then I'll put some energy into that. But I don't think I got time to
It takes
edit
about
and do all that.
takes about 20, 30 minutes. I'm now posting on Facebook too. I've been posting on Facebook for probably a month and a half, and I just got my first follower. I'm like, let's go. I say Brock was telling me it takes a while for you to actually like the algorithm to learn. Like I got 4 notifications one time when I opened Facebook, and I almost dropped dead, man. I was like, what? 4 notifications? But
Damn, bro.
YouTube,
It's
I'm
tough.
up. I just passed 1,000 subscribers, so I mean, it doesn't really mean
that's
anything.
good.
But
No, it does, man. That's really good.
Well, sometimes I'll post something and it'll get 2,000 likes. I'm like, cool. And then the next video I post, and I got 17 views. I'm like, why? And I posted it 3 times and it just never worked. I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's just a dud on YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube algorithm is so I feel like YouTube is more kid friendly in a way. Like if you were to talk about stuff like I don't know, Amazing World of Gumball, like that's something that'll push out a lot. But then you talk about Tron Legacy, not as much. Or you talk about Roofman, like the new Roofman movie, it's not gonna do nothing. But then you talk about How to Train Your Dragon, it's gonna.
I would say my videos that consistently do well over there all the time, it's like above average, I would say, for my views is the reviews. Because I think a lot of people go to YouTube solely for reviews.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the one video, the category videos that I post that I'm like, all right, we'll give you a couple extra 100 views. Is basically what happens. But don't worry, if I was making bank, I tell you, I mean, I have 107 videos and I've gotten a whole lot of zero from that.
a whopping donut hole.
Yeah, whopping donut hole. But guys, thanks for listening to our conversation on Tron Ares. I hope you enjoyed it. I do love this world. I just wish that it was given to us a little bit better. Please check out Fabian at Cinespidey Films on Instagram, at Cinespidey on TikTok. And please, if you liked this podcast, come back next week. I believe I'll have Connor on, my co-host. I don't think I will have Dan on, though, because Dan's actually doing the Philadelphia Film Festival. So he's going to be very busy for 10 days straight, which is wild. But I believe we're going to talk about the Black Phone 2, which I have already seen. I saw at the world premiere at Fantastic Fest. I think I'm going to watch it again, though, because I have some interesting opinions on it. But that'll be next week, so please come back. And until then, go outside, sit on a park bench, touch some grass, call up your friends, watch a good movie, and we'll see you then. Peace out, everybody.